Hello everyone, welcome inside another week of the Hawkeye Sports Report. We'll have wrestling's reaction to the Olympic decision to keep wrestling coming up. But first we have Rob Brooks to break down some Iowa football for us. Rob, Iowa finally got the monkey off the back in the win column. Got the win over Missouri State, and it has to feel good for them.
Well, young teams need to learn how to win, and the Hawkeyes got that done. And I think you go back to that Northern Illinois game where Iowa was really knocking on the door to get that victory. And you saw the Huskies, a team that knew how to win, comfortable in that situation. Young Hawkeye football team trying to find its way, learn how to win, finally got it done. That's first and foremost. But I think one thing that really jumped out to me in that game when Missouri State scored those 2 touchdowns in a matter of 10 seconds. Iowa didn't panic, the sideline didn't panic, and was able to get that offense going, get down, and get another 7. Everybody could breathe a little bit easier. A
lot of poise by Jake Rudock in that situation with the young quarterback there. Does it seem like this Iowa football team is maybe just a couple plays away from really blowing a game wide open?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about it. And I think even you go back to last year, so many close calls. There was one at the beginning of this season, and in this Iowa State series, there have been quite a few as well. And I don't know if it's going to be like that the entire season. I kind of have a feeling that there are going to be a lot of tight games, and I think that's just a play here, a play there, not making a mistake, interception, penalty, those types of things that really keep you from sustaining drives and putting more points on the board. You know, a missed field goal. Mike Meyer won't do that very often.
Right.
Mark Wiseman fumbled in the first game. You may not see that again this season. So yeah, I think there's just those little instances that keep Iowa from getting that 10-point lead, that 14-point lead, where you want to be able to deliver that knockout punch.
Now, Iowa's going up to Ames this weekend to take on an Iowa State team that has already lost to UNI. They had a bye week last weekend. But what is the magnitude of this game against Iowa State?
Well, it's huge for a lot of reasons. Obviously, bragging rights for the fans, so you can't leave that out. But also the fact that both teams already have a loss in their non-conference portion of the schedule. At best, you want to be able to be at 3-1 going into your conference play. And can you be good at 2-2? Sure, you can make some things happen, but I really have a good feeling when it's at least 3-1, you got a chance to really have a good conference season, and Iowa's already got that loss. So I think that puts a little more pressure on the Hawkeyes to get this one. And then, of course, it doesn't hurt on the recruiting trail, doesn't hurt a young team getting a road victory, a good test going into conference competition.
Turnovers is always something that makes a huge difference in a game, and that's something that has always been important in this Cy-Hawk series.
Yeah, Iowa's been able to capitalize against Iowa State on turnovers somewhat, because you look at the Cyclones the last 4 years, Iowa State has 16 turnovers that have resulted in 41% of Iowa's points, and Iowa hasn't won all of those games, but they've been very tight.
Iowa State, as we mentioned, lost to UNI. Iowa trying to find their way. Iowa State coming off the bye week. Can Iowa really take advantage of an Iowa State team that is coming off that bye week?
Well, I think when you look at Iowa State, really raise your eyebrows about how Iowa State gave up so many yards, especially on the ground, to UNI. 457 total yards to the Panthers, 228 rushing. You look at Iowa averaging 5 yards per carry, led by Mark Wiseman. And will it be Wiseman for 30 or 35 carries? Can he carry that load? Sure he can, but there's other weapons the Iowa Hawkeyes have. Obviously 4 deep at tailback, but don't get into the thought process of, well, Iowa's just going to run the ball 60 times and it's going to be a walk in the park, because it's just not. So many things happen over in Ames from an intangible part of the game that I think will keep them from doing that. You've got to be able to throw the ball. I still look for Iowa to make some big plays in the passing game and be balanced. And I think some good things will happen.
Over 400 total yards in both of the games for Iowa so far this season. Let's fast forward and look at the Big Ten in general here. This is kind of a big weekend for the Big Ten.
Well, I think anytime the non-conference, a week like this sticks out, you learn a lot about what's happening across the Big Ten. Some games that really jumped out at me. Washington and Illinois at Soldier Field. Illinois, a little bit of a surprise. How good are they? The Huskies in the top 20. UCLA at Nebraska. Keep your eyes focused on that. Ohio State is at Cal, who's going to play quarterback. And then Wisconsin at a trip to Tempe, Arizona to take on a pretty good Arizona State team. Huge challenge for the Badgers.
Wild, Wild West is always not very kind to the Big Ten, it seems like, out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there if I were the Badgers.
Yeah, hopefully they have better luck than the Hawks did a few years ago. Rob, thanks as always for joining us. We will see you on Saturday up in Ames.
Looking forward to it.
The game will be kicking off at 5 p.m. up in Ames at Jack Trice Stadium. It can be seen on Fox Sports 1. We'll be back with more Hawkeye Sports Report right after this.
Hey Hawkeye fans, don't miss the action on Mediacom Court at Carver Hawkeye Arena this fall with an exciting season of Iowa Hawkeye Volleyball. For only $30, you get 2 season tickets, 2 Iowa Volleyball t-shirts, weekly emails, and much more. Seniors Nikki Daly, Rachel Bedell, and Bethany Yeager want to see you at Carver Hawkeye Arena this season. To order, call 1-800-IA-HAWKS or visit HawkeyeSports.com. We'll see you at Carver Hawkeye Arena this fall. Go Hawks!
Welcome back to the Hawkeye Sports Report. The biggest sports news in Iowa over the last week might not have been the result of any games played, but rather a decision made in Argentina Sunday. That's where the International Olympic Committee voted to reinstate wrestling to the Summer Olympics. The sport lost its core sport status in February. Since then, the sport's governing body, THEAIRRA, has reorganized and changed competition rules. Sunday, wrestling received 49 of the possible 95 votes for the final spot in the Olympics program. A baseball softball bid and a squash bid were the other contenders.
With 49 votes, wrestling has been elected.
I'm just happy and excited to say that wrestling, if we hadn't won this vote, we wouldn't have given up. It would have been harder to move forward than it is because we won the vote. It's going to be easier to move forward. It's always easier to work on success than defeat. However, every once in a while, you do have a defeat, and we felt like that defeat was February when they threw us out. So the work that's been done obviously gave us an edge. Not a whole lot of an edge, but pretty good. But it's really where we go from here to make this sport a top 5 core sport, which we're not even in the core. So we have a long ways to go yet.
With 49 votes, wrestling has been elected.
When they all of a sudden started asking a lot of questions and wrestling, the presentation went further than the other ones, it's almost like they want to put us in. If if we can, we want to. And the presentations of our people were outstanding. And you could just tell the audience that we're going to be the voting audience really wanted it in too. Otherwise, they wouldn't have prolonged and they would have got out quicker. So, it all buildup was that we were probably going to be in, but it's no more probably. We are. However, it's got to move up. We got to move up.
I run all the scenarios through our head. They kept saying that even if we don't win the vote, we're going to get this and we're going to get that. We got new president being elected on Tuesday. Jacques Rogue is going out after however many years, and they're saying that the new president is going to be in favor of expanding the Olympics, so wrestling's going to be okay, and I don't buy that. I like, first of all, not even coming to this, and then second of all, coming to this and coming in here and winning and putting it together that way and really just ending it right now. Like I said, that committee, that presentation, it packed a punch. And you could tell from the questions, it was on the minds of the IOC members.
Other wrestling news, the clash of Iowa and Penn State on the mat will happen this year during the regular season after all. The Hawks and Nittany Lions were not slated to face each other when the Big Ten released its schedule. However, Iowa and Penn State will wrestle each other in a non-conference duel at Carver Hawkeye Arena the night of Saturday, December 21st. The two schools have combined to win the last 6 national titles and have met every year since 1982. We're back with highlights and scores right after this.
Second down and 2, Burdell. In motion. Green has the first down in the middle. Makes a run, 20, spins, stay on his feet. Wide yard line, goal line, touchdown Iowa. You will never see a prettier run than that.
Welcome back into the Hawkeye Sports Report. We keep moving along with some recaps from this past weekend's action in Iowa City. The field hockey team hosted the Big Ten ACC Challenge where they faced Wake Forest and #1 North Carolina. Iowa defeated Wake Forest 2-0 Saturday morning, and Sunday they gave the top-ranked Tar Heels everything they could handle, but they were defeated 3-1. The weekend split, however, was enough for the Hawkeyes to vault 5 spots in this week's top 25 poll. The Hawks are now ranked 8th in the nation heading into another weekend home series with Central Michigan and 10th ranked Stanford. The Iowa soccer team is still unbeaten after a pair of weekend wins. Matt Nelson has it all covered at the Iowa Soccer Complex.
Friday night at the Iowa Soccer Complex, a warm and sunny evening and an in-state matchup. The first event in this year's Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. Iowa and Iowa State getting their game faces on. An Iowa soccer record crowd of 1,594, smashing the old attendance record. In the 11th minute, Iowa opens the scoring as Mel Pickert has the free kick, and Anne-Marie Thomas puts it in, 1-0 Hawks. 10 minutes later, Brooke Backus assists, and Alex Moline, the header. Iowa up 2-0. Defensively, the Hawks shut down Iowa State. The Cyclones record only 4 shots, and Hannah Clark records her 3rd straight shutout. In the second half, still 2-0 Iowa, Mel Pickert with another free kick, and Bree Tell is there for the goal, the freshman's first career goal. The Hawkeyes improved to 5-0 with a convincing 3-0 win over the Cyclones.
Yeah, I don't know if we scored 2 goals in the first half this year. It was nice. It was nice to do that, and I think what it did is it allowed us to play in the second half and keep doing what I think we're good at. And when our possession's good in front, it opens up some space behind, and then when we take those chances to get to the end line, it allowed us to control the game.
You know, that's awesome for the crowd and everything, everyone coming out, thanks to them. And, you know, I think people are starting to realize that we're getting better. And I think that, you know, people coming up after the game and they're excited and stuff. So, you know that people are getting excited about the program and where it's heading.
A good night for the Hawkeyes wraps up with post-game fireworks celebrating the school's win in last year's Cy-Hawk Series. Sunday, the Hawkeyes back at home on a windy day at the Iowa Soccer Complex. The Hawks bombarded the Raiders of Wright State with shots, but they struggled to find the back of the net. Iowa outshot Wright State 18-4. Finally, in the 66th minute, Melanie Pickert on the free kick. Alex Moline battles for the ball. It actually goes off a Wright State defender and past goalkeeper Brooke McCurdy. The win does not come easily for the Hawks. 1-0 the final.
I don't think we played as well as maybe we could have today, and I think that we told our kids you have 19 chances to do this during the season, and I think in a college soccer game you have to be ready mentally and emotionally to play a game, and I don't think we did that.
I mean, shutout always feels good, but I think we'd agree we didn't play how we wanted to today, so I think just during this week of practice, just grinding it out, working hard, doing the things that we really needed to improve upon.
Iowa is back in action Friday against the St. Louis Billikens at 7 p.m. and Tuesday against Northern Iowa, also at 7. Matt Nelson, Hawkeye Sports Report.
Thanks a lot, Matt. In volleyball action, the Iowa Hawkeyes went 2-1 in the Valpo Popcorn Classic. The Hawks swept the Rhode Island Rams and took a 3-1 decision over the Eagles of Eastern Michigan before falling to the host Crusaders in 4. The Hawks are 5-1 overall and have the season's home opener Friday as part of the Hawkeye Challenge.
Last weekend, I just felt like we played with a lot of confidence. You know, so carrying that from the first weekend into the second weekend, we looked very confident when we played Rhode Island. We looked very confident against Eastern Michigan. Even when Eastern took a set from us, I still felt like the team knew that we could win that match. And Valpo, it was the perfect time to play Valpo. They're good, they're well skilled, they're old. You know, they play good volleyball, and they really put stress on us that no one else had up until this point. So it was good to see how we responded to that stress. And sometimes it wasn't always favorable, but it's things that we can get better at for sure.
We've had a lot of success on the road these past 2 weekends, and we're just really excited to get back in Carver and have some success here. From the wins, I learned that our team has some real fight to we have some real fight to us, and we don't give up. And from our loss, I just learned that just a few things that we need to get better at in practice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we still have a lot of work to do. You know, we're 5-1, so it's a great start, but we have really high expectations for ourselves, so I don't think we're ever going to be completely satisfied. We've really been focusing on not dwelling on the past and learning from our losses and taking what we can from each game and moving on and playing to the next point.
4 matches at home. How about that? It's going to be very cool. And obviously playing Drake in state, that's big. You know, it's big for Drake, it's big for the Hawkeyes, so we're excited to get to play, to open the tournament with them. And then Western Illinois and UIC, we both saw them, we played both those teams in the spring, so it'll be fun to see how much we've improved and you know, what they're doing differently from spring ball. And yeah, and then Ball State's a really good team. I mean, they have great history, great coaching staff at Ball State, so it's really going to be fun. I think each team is going to challenge us in a little bit different way.
It's nice to have that home advantage, you know, having our home crowd. We've had a lot of fans on the road, which has been nice, but nothing compares to playing in Carver. So,
well, I think one, they'll enjoy just how we play. You know, these guys play hard, and again, they have a sense of urgency about them that I think is really healthy and productive right now. And you know, so it leads to, it's just good hard volleyball, and I think they'll appreciate that we're a lot more physical than we were a year ago, which is going to be critical for our success in the Big Ten. And it's just a great day to spend a weekend inside of Carver Hawkeye Arena. What could be better for Hawkeye fans?
Iowa plays Drake at noon and Ball State at 7 on Friday. Saturday, it's Western Illinois at noon and Illinois-Chicago at 7. The Hawkeyes also travel north for a matchup with Wisconsin-Milwaukee on Tuesday. The Iowa women's golf team began its fall season Monday and Tuesday in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Chipman Club Invitational. The Hawkeyes finished 4th out of 13 teams in the 3-round tournament. How about junior Shelby Phillips? Her final round score of 67, which is 5 under par, tied Iowa's all-time best single record performance and set a new tournament record. Phillips tied for 5th at the tournament. The Iowa men's golf fall season starts with a big event in Burlington. Iowa hosts the Golf Week Conference Challenge Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. 15 teams from 15 conferences will travel to Spirit Hollow Golf Course, including 3 defending conference champions. 18-hole action begins on the tee box at 9 a.m. Sunday and Monday and at 8:30 on Tuesday. Iowa cross-country teams are also at home this weekend. The Hawks were off last weekend and opened up with wins over Illinois State in the Hawkeye Early Bird Invitational 2 weeks ago. Friday, starting at 6 p.m., coaches Larry Wazorek, Lane Anderson, and their teams host the Black and Gold Invite at the Ashton Cross Country Course on Iowa City's west side.
The Ashton Cross Country Course is a spectator-friendly course. You can see a lot of it, and it doesn't take hours to completion. So you can be out there and enjoy a beautiful area and see the Hawkeyes compete against some good teams.
When we return, the women's basketball team goes through a 2-day team-building workout that they hope can pay dividends. We'll have an up-close look at that when we come back. Welcome back. The women's basketball team tips off with an exhibition on November 3rd, but there's obviously plenty of work going on as we speak leading up to that first tip-off. Just a couple weeks ago in the blistering heat, the team was put through a 2-day team building phase called Judgment Day, which is run by the program. Here's a brief inside look at what they went through.
16 minutes of paying the man, 16 minutes of being accountable for one another, 16 minutes of focusing on attention to detail, the little things. You see, in sports, in women's basketball, and competing for championships, if we can't take care of the little things, we can never focus on the big things.
The program is a leadership and team development company. We challenge teams to get the proverbial that much better. We challenge them by having them make a commitment to our ethos and 3 core principles. We're good team leaders and we're good teammates. We prepare ourselves every day to fill either role. How we prepare is by making a commitment to our 3 core principles. Number 1, we're physically and mentally tough. Number 2, we don't make excuses and we don't let others make excuses for us. And number 3, and most importantly, we work hard. We define working hard as doing one more in everything we do. Find out what your one more is and do it each and every day and make a commitment to doing it. And ultimately, you'll get that much better.
Stay up, stay up! You're good, you're good. Keep going. Stay up, get here. Get here! Put him down! Nice job!
I think it's going to be a huge team building experience for us. I know everybody's learning a ton of lessons today, and we're learning a lot about our teammates, which I think there's nothing more valuable than that.
Coming in, yeah, we didn't really know too much. I knew it was a leadership seminar. A lot of teams have had it here, pretty much kicked their butt. So we kind of knew that. Sam and Jen just, you know, they're really focused on putting leaders in tough situations, putting in followers, your teammates in tough situations physically. And then once physical, you know, physical toughness wears out, you got to rely on your mental toughness, and we're building that a lot out here today.
You've got to be dialed in for every moment. It's just what we do here. It's who we are.
Hold him up. 1 second. Here we go. See, you gotta get it up, baby girls. Come on, see, push. Good. Put him on, put him on. Here we go. Here we go, Pop. Here we go. Good job. Here we go.
The way, you know, that we built as a team each hour, getting through things that we had no idea that we could do. You know, we didn't know that we could fireman carry each other up and down a field at 98-degree weather, you know. So just that alone and pushing ourselves to the limits it was absolutely awesome to see that each one of us could do it and push each other and learn day in and day out.
I feel like we're all mentally tougher and we're closer. Like, I told one of my teammates I love her today just because she helped me when I felt like I was going down in the pool. So, I mean, it just brought us all together, and we have that comfortability now.
Extremely challenging, stuff that I've never done before, stuff that coming into it, I didn't think I could do, but we kept telling each other and we kept telling ourselves that we could do it no matter what, and that's the challenge of it all, was becoming a team and knowing that everyone had each other's backs.
You know, great buy-in, and you know, I wish it was a guarantee that we can say that, hey, Iowa women's basketball got that much better. We taught them how to get that much better, but now the challenge is on them to make that commitment, not just today, tomorrow, the day after that, and long into the season. Getting that much better is a choice and a habit.
Thanks for watching the Week 3 edition of the Hawkeye Sports Report. Be sure to get out and check out the many home Hawkeye events this weekend, and be sure to visit HawkeyeSports.com for complete coverage of those events, as well as the Hawkeye Cyclone Showdown Saturday in Ames. See you next week on the Hawkeye Sports Report.